Good evening, everyone. Phil here. Welcome to the Daily Wrap for what was Thursday, the 29th of February 2024, the final day of the month and release day for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. A full day of that on my streams on DSPGaming today. Shall we talk a little bit about it? Because I know people are wondering, what's my day one impressions of the game? Well, first of all, between the two streams, and despite the fact that I had to start the first stream early and end it early, we got about 5.5 hours in of gameplay today. All right, now there's definitely a pattern going on with new releases these days, where you cannot get a handle on what a game is until so many hours in. It is so hard to give him first impressions of a game these days. Case in point, with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, the whole first 3 hours is a flashback segment to Nibelheim when Sephiroth and Cloud visited the Mako reactor, and Sephiroth goes crazy and attacks the whole town and stuff like that. It's very, it's old school plot from Final Fantasy VII. This is not a spoiler or anything like that, okay? But it's that segment. That's how the game actually opens. It gives you a very brief shot of Zack Fair, who apparently is alive in another universe or multiverse to the gang from Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but it's not clear how that's going to tie into the game yet. And then immediately you're thrown into 3 hours of Nibelheim. These 3 hours are not really representative of the rest of the game. You don't get to explore, really. The combat is simplistic because you're playing as an over-leveled Sephiroth and Cloud who kill everything within a few hits. There's one boss fight, and the boss fight's a little challenging, but you're just given so many healing items that there really is no significant challenge at all. Basically, it's just easy. So you kind of coast through it, and the thing is, the graphics are good, the music's good, the plot is good. I mean, this part of the game is actually intriguing. You're wondering what's happening. But it's hard to read a game when the whole first 3 hours are just this intro segment that's not representative of the rest of the game. Maybe it's good they got it out of the way, but it is a little annoying because then you're like, I did my whole first stream and people are like, so what do you think? I have no clue. I can't tell you anything yet because we didn't really play the game yet. So then tonight's second stream was 2.5 hours. The whole first hour was the town of Kalm, K-A-L-M, and it is so different from the original game. Now the town has all this content. It's vibrant. There's people talking in the streets with all these conversations. There's side questing to do this new card game called Queen's Blood, and it's progressively getting harder as you play it through the city. There's a few mini missions where you learn things like how do you upgrade your weapons to get these different stat increases, how do you upgrade your skill tree to increase your characters and their abilities, stuff like that. And then there's a little story mission, and then boom, something happens in the game immediately that doesn't happen in the original Final Fantasy VII. It's added content. So I get the feeling what's going to happen is the game will generally follow the plot from the original game, but will add a bunch. And this is just one of the cases. Calm adds all this content. So you're in that town for an hour to an hour and a half doing all these new things. Then the game finally goes open world, and you get to see the breadth of this big open map in front of you to start, and it is gorgeous. The graphics are great on this map, and there's big traversal, moving all around, platforming, grabbing items in the environment. The combat still is kind of simplistic at this very beginning point, but the thing is, we're not really unlocking much yet. Like, for example, by the end of the stream, the goal is to basically get the chocobo, right? You have to catch a chocobo, because that's the story, is to get past this bog with this giant serpent monster. You can't fight it yet. It's too tough. You have to get a chocobo to use this to cross the bog and get to the next part of the game. So you get the chocobo, but then all of a sudden it starts unlocking other stuff. Oh, remember that character Chadley from Final Fantasy VII Remake? He's back, and now you gotta touch these towers to unlock these things on the open world map that show you all this content in the area. You're like, basically, it's overload. It's like, here's a new system, here's a new system, here's a new system, here's a new system, here's a new system. We finished 5.5 hours, and at the end the game says, oh, by the way, here's a new system. Like, what the holy moly? There's so much to the game. It's very complex. There's a lot to it. That's a good thing. I'm not complaining in any capacity. I'm just saying it's hard to get a read on the game because I don't actually feel like we've had a single fight that's even representative of what the combat will be. Not in a single fight have I really had to actively dodge or do the timed blocks to parry. I know that's a big part. That was a big part of the first game. So I have to eventually learn those techniques and get into them, but you don't really use them right now. It's just a lot of button mashing early on. Okay, it's going to get different. I actually switched to Barret. I was like, oh yeah, I remember using Barrett in Remake. He's different because he's got the gun and you switch between his special abilities. You dodge around a bit, you keep firing the gun. You know, I'm like, okay. So I figure if I go to like Aerith too, and you remember Tifa has the giant combo she can do. So I got to get into the swing of things. I didn't even get to use Red 13 yet because we only fought a few times in 5.5 hours. We only got to fight a few times, so I didn't even get to see Red in action yet. I'm curious to see how he's going to fight in this. You know, is he more melee-based? Does he have abilities? I don't know. So, here's what I'll say. 5.5 hours. I'm, you know, having a good time. The music is outstanding. It's cool to see this plot now being treated by like a ginormous big to-do, right? You know, the original games from the 90s were good for the time, but man, they're so outdated now. And now to play this game and see how it's going to get this cool treatment, okay? I like it. I'm excited more for the weekend. Because when we go back to play it tomorrow, when we go over the weekend, we're unlocking more of the basic stuff. You're going to see the real gameplay loop of the game. What is the combat like? It's going to get better with new materia. We're going to be unlocking abilities, leveling up the characters. It's going to be better after this first chunk. But it's so hard these days when you play a game all day. What was it like? Did you like it? I don't even know yet. Like, I didn't even really play the real game yet. And we're like 6 hours into it. It's crazy how long it takes to get these games started now, right? And every game's doing this. It's not just this one. I mean, how many games in the last year have people asked after 1 or 2 streams, is it good? I don't even know yet, right? Anyway. So, there's a lot to say here. Number one, the streams did well. Attendance was great, and people showed up and engaged. It was really cool in that regard that we had a lot of viewers on the streams today. Sadly, the uploads are all getting demonetized because YouTube, in all of its fucking idiocy, is claiming the music in these fucking games as a soundtrack cover. It says, oh, you're doing a cover of a song. No, I'm not. I'm not performing a cover song. It's the real song in the game, and you're content ID matching and claiming the videos. That's really pissing me off. Because, you know, it's a brand new playthrough. Within a few days, it'll probably get a good amount of views. But now I can't make any money on it. I have to sit here disputing a million content ID claims on these videos because YouTube is trash these days when it comes to music. It makes no effing sense that I should have to do that. But I have to, okay? Now, yes, you know me, I'm honest. I'm going to tell you the truth, okay? A fan donated a Cloud Strife wig for me to wear for this playthrough, right? They said, yeah, when you hit your hat goal, wear this wig. People would definitely be, you know, kind of convinced. Oh my God. People would be convinced to contribute to your Final Fantasy streams if you give them something special. So I want to donate a Cloud Strife wig that you can wear during the playthrough. Here it is, actually facing forward, okay? So I show it off this morning on the podcast. Everyone's laughing. Wow, that's supposed to be Cloud Strife, I guess. I mean, maybe it's Cloud. You know, it doesn't look that good. Maybe if I put it on, it'll look a little better. But it definitely doesn't look great, right? It's hilarious because the pictures of this thing on YouTube, or excuse me, the pictures of this thing on freaking Amazon look so good. And then you get it and it looks like this. Does that look like Cloud? It looks like, you know, if Cloud put his finger in a power socket and rubbed his head on a static electricity shocked thing and didn't cut his hair for like 2 months. Maybe that's Cloud then, right? But that's what they give you. So, I mean, would have been hilarious to see this, right? And here's the thing. Baldur's Gate 3, which is a playthrough been going on for 2.5 months, has been getting exceptional support when I play it. Now, the viewership for that playthrough dwindled. I don't get many viewers on the streams nor on the on-demand videos, but the people that are there support the streams, okay? We did not hit the hat tip skull today at all. We didn't even get close. The first stream, I think we hit like $50, 55. The second stream, we barely got $20, okay? Okay, so I guess you guys didn't want to see that. I don't know what else to say. A fan donated it thinking, wow, this would really give incentive. People would want to see Phil look stupid on the playthrough. It would be funny. No, okay? Yeah, today was the last day of the month for me. You know, it's leap year. It's the 29th of February, so it's the final day of the month. And the first thing I explained to everyone on the podcast today is that sadly this month was really messed up for me because of all those gifted memberships that were fake, that were not paid for, and I'm not getting paid for them. That's income I used to have. That I'm down somewhere upwards of $1,000 to $1,500 of income that I used to get every month, and I'm not getting it anymore. So I was hoping that today, after a whole month where everyone yelled at me and said, you're playing too much Baldur's Gate, you're playing too much Tekken, you're playing too much of the same games, we want variety, play the new games. I said, well, what new games? Suicide Squad sucked. Helldivers 2 is an online co-op game. That is not my style. It's not what you want to see me play. I played Pal World. It got played out. We stopped playing it. Like, I'm playing the new games, right? But you guys are saying you're not interested in them, even though I am. Like, I love Tekken 8, but no real interest in it. You know, I'm getting, like, less than half the interest that I had in Street Fighter 6 when it came out. And so all month, everyone yelling, play the new games, play the new games. Okay, I'll play them when they come out. Here's the new game release day. No, didn't hit a tips goal, so we didn't see that. And, yeah, like, I think all day I got 3 memberships. Seriously, like, all day, 3 memberships. And they were re-ups, too. The Super Chats were okay. Not amazing, but okay, you know. But it's a premiere day. It's supposed to be the big new release. And no, it was not a great day whatsoever for income. A typical day, when I would have played Baldur's Gate and something else randomly at night, actually would have been, I would have got more support doing that than buying a brand new game that everyone screamed at me to play, wanted me to play all month. Play it, play it, play it. Okay, what happened, right? Now, there are some factors involved. Factor number 1, it's release day. A lot of people likely are playing this game today. And if they're playing it, they don't immediately want to run to watch me play it live on the stream because maybe they don't want to spoil, right? However, I'm a little skeptical about that. Why? Because I didn't play the demo. The demo was the first 3 hours, not Nibelheim, whatever. So if you already played the demo, you've already seen that. There's no way you could be spoiled by my first stream. So, is that really what it was? I don't know. I don't know if I should believe that that's really what it was or not. It could be that people are all RPG'd out. I wouldn't blame you. I've been playing non-stop RPGs for the last 6+ months. You know, Baldur's Gate, Like a Dragon, Sea of Stars, put Sea of Stars on hiatus, and now this one comes out. It's like there's too many RPGs. I agree with you. I've been telling you guys all year this was going to happen. That it looked like in January, February, March, April, they jam-packed the whole first quarter of the year with too many RPGs, too many to possibly play, too many to enjoy, and certainly too many that people would not get burnt out. So I get it. If that's the case, people are burnt out on RPGs, then so be it. But I thought this was the exception. People are telling me, oh no, this is Final Fantasy VII. This is the one everyone's going to like, everyone's going to be pumped for, right? So here it is. And there was good attendance. Again, don't get me wrong. Attendance on the stream was good. My viewership was up and everything. But I wasn't making ad revenue because all the stuff got claimed by this content ID. So that's literally 0, right? And the support for a brand new game was shockingly low. I literally would have done better if I played other games today. Like if I, again, Baldur's Gate and like Tekken, or even Baldur's Gate and Like a Dragon, probably would have done better than if I had just played this all day like I did today. And that's surprising. Now the question is, what's going to happen? Because this is yet another 60+ hour game. Okay? Another one. And my plan is this week to play 17 hours of it. I've played 5.5 today. And I got 4 more major streams planned to this. You know, Friday, Saturday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And between Friday, Saturday, Monday, and Tuesday. I misspoke. Between those streams, you know, are people going to start showing up more? Are people going to actually support the playthrough? I don't know, you know? And it's hilarious, too, because you can tell the troll element comes in. So there's a new card game they've instituted or you know, shown in this. Play it. You have to play it at the beginning because if you don't, you get kicked out of this first town and you can't go back until later. So there's 3 games. So, you know, you spend like 20, 30 minutes doing it. It's in there. It's content. Oh, this is boring. I didn't make the game. I didn't put the card game in the first town. They did. Why are you complaining to me that the content they put in the game is boring? That's a criticism of the game. I'm playing the game, trying to enjoy it, trying to learn the card game, do it at the time you're supposed to do it, and people are going to complain, oh, that's boring. No. You know, it's bullshit. Criticize the game, not the streamer. I'm pretty sure that not every streamer who played the game skipped the entire first town. You're out of your mind, all right? So, you know, it does piss me off when people try to be negative about premiere streams on that on purpose. You know, that's what they do. They come in with their new accounts. Oh, who is this person? Never seen them before, right? Sit there and complain, this is boring, this is boring. Shut the fuck up. I'm trying to enjoy the game on launch day. I am enjoying the game. I'm getting immersed. I learned the card game, which I don't usually do. I usually would skip those things. I want to learn this one. Oh, complain. Unbelievable, you know? Thing is, I had a good time. So far, I'm liking the game. I want to get further into it. I want to enjoy it. But I'm hoping that people are going to actually support this game. If this is a game that literally the support is going to be slow every day, yeah, guess what? I'm going to have to fucking balance it with Baldur's Gate again, which I don't want to do. I want to keep playing this game and get as far as I can, because later this month we got games like Rise of the Ronin, we got possibly Dragon's Dogma 2, because now I'm starting to strongly question if I should even play it, because it's another RPG. And yes, it's very different than the other RPGs we've played, but it's another RPG, and people might say, oh, it's another one, I'm not going to show up, or whatever. You know, I can't make them not make a million RPGs. They fucked up. These game developers have all cannibalized each other. They all made the same genre of game within the 3-month period. It's asinine that none of them looked at the release schedule and said, this makes no sense to have this many RPGs in a short period of time. But they did. They did it. They've done it. And now you're going to see sales numbers are going to start to get split, because not everyone can buy every RPG and play through a 100-hour game back to back to back like that, you know? But I hope that you will. If you were not on the streams today, it's all good. Hopefully you will come by. Remember, I'm only playing it now once a day. So I'm 5.5 hours in now. Tomorrow I'm only doing 3 hours. That's 3 hours every day. You will likely, if you're playing this game, be way ahead of me. All right? So I hope that you will come by and hang out on the streams and hopefully support them. At this point now, for this month coming up, I am going to be ridiculously tight with my money, and it sucks. I want to talk about it every day. But I'm going to be hoping to raise, you know, a good amount of tips and stuff, because I need it now just to get through this month, because of the dip on YouTube, the fact that there were no new releases in February, and the ones that were there, like I said, Tekken, people didn't like so much. It's frustrating. People tell me I'm doing everything right, and I still take a hit because of trolls. What was I supposed to do? You know, I can't fix YouTube. I just hope that it turns around. I do. Like, for a first day, it was like the vibe on the streams was good, the game was good, the support was slower than a regular day. That's disheartening and shocking, and I hope that it does turn around, especially if you watch this playthrough on demand after the fact, you like it, you know? I would hope that you will come by and support it at some point, or you don't even have to be on the stream, you know what I mean? Like, you can just support it behind the scenes however you want. You send a tip. I would say do a super thanks, but likely the videos are all going to get claimed, so you can't do that. You know, you can maybe pledge to my Patreon. You can do many different things, right? Please consider it. I want to play this a lot and get far in it before other things, but now it's looking like, shit, what if this pattern continues? Do I have to split again between Baldur's Gate and Final Fantasy? I might have to. That wasn't my intention. I wanted to keep doing Final Fantasy, but I have to do what makes sense. I have to make a living, right? I have to pay bills. So, all right. Enjoy this first batch of videos, the 5.5 hours of them. I'll be back tomorrow morning with a podcast with more Final Fantasy and with Friday Night Fights. All right, everyone, thank you. Have a good night. See you in the morning. Peace out.